press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello everyone, welcome to history class. In the last period we have discussed the making of nationalism in Europe. Okay, the aristocracy and the new middle class have been discussed in the last class. The first one is the social structure of landed aristocracy, and second one is the peasantry, and the third one is the middle class over there in the Europe, across the Europe we have discussed in the last class. Next, second point is what did liberal nationalism stand for? What did liberalism 2.2 what did liberal nationalism stand for? What did liberal nationalism stand for? Okay, first, ideas of national unity. First, you should know that what is liberal nationalism. What is liberal means? Liberal is a democracy, is a form of government. Under the liberalism, controlled by election between multiple districts, political parties, rule of law, open market, separatism of government, open society. Okay, these are the main characteristics of liberal democracy. What did liberal nationalism stand for? According to French Revolution, what were the main factors? Was the base of liberal nationalism? Ideas of national unity. In early 19th century, which means beginning of the 19th century, 1800 to 1830, Europe were closely allied to the ideas of nationalism, which means national unity equals liberal, which means ideas of liberalism. National unity were closely allied with liberalism. What is ideas of national unity? National unity, when the people, ideas of national unity, when they feel we are all one in the nation, we have one common culture, we have a single constitution, single language. When the people get idea of national unity, closely allied with the idealists. When people they got liberal, which means what is the term of liberalism, which derives from the Latin root liber, which means free. What is the meaning of liber, which means free? What is meant by liber according to French revolutionaries? A liber which means meaning of free. Okay, when the people who have got free themselves, ಯಾವಾಗ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೋ, the ideas of national unity, they can share their common culture among themselves. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? They share their common culture themselves. Then the national unity will be come out when the people who have got liber, okay, from the Latin root liber meaning free, for the new middle class liberalism stood for. According to new middle class in the French Revolution, which consisted of professors, lawyers, educated class and peasant, women, young people, those are called new middle class. According to them, new middle class prakara, according to them, what is the liberalism? Liberalism stood for freedom for individual. Point number 1, freedom for freedom for individual. Freedom for individual. The second point is equality of all before law. Equality of all before equality of all before law. Okay. According to middle class of French, what was the main basis of liberalism? Liberalism stood for 5 marks question. What did liberal nationalism stand for? What did liberal nationalism stand for? Liberal nationalism stand for point number 1. According to new middle class, nationalism stood for freedom for individual. Everybody should have freedom. He should not be restricted by any others, any monarchies, any kings. According to them, according to middle class, we have to get a freedom, individual freedom. In India also, there is a individual freedom, article number 19, which was borrowed from French Revolution. This is called freedom for the individual. He should not be restricted by any other person, according to them. And next one is equality of all before the law. Equality of all before the law, according to middle class, new middle class. There is no superior, there is no inferior. There is no superior, there is no inferior. There is no poorer, there is no rich. There is no richer, there is no poorer. Higher, there is no high class, there is no low class. All are equal before law. All are equal before law. In India also, article number 14, which gives individual freedom and also equal before law. All are equal before law. Article number 14. Article number 14, which was borrowed from French Revolution. Second one is equality of all before law. There is nobody richer, nobody poorer. All are equal. And it has completed. Next one is politically it emphasized. Third point is politically. Politically nodadadre, politically it emphasized the concept of government by consent. The concept of government by consent. The concept of government by consent. The next point is the end of autocracy. The end of autocracy. And next point is the end of autocracy. And next, clerical privileges. Clerical privileges. Make a point, students, kids, make a point. And next, a constitution and represent government through parliament. Constitution and representative through government through parliament. Through parliament. And next one is the inviolability of private property. Next point is the inviolability of private property. Inviolability of private property. Okay, these are the first one is according to new middle class, freedom for individual. According to new middle class, freedom for individual. Freedom for individual. Next point is equality of all before law. Next, the concept of government. ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಎಂಪಸೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇದು ಯಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಒತ್ತು ಕೊಡ್ತು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಜನರ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸಸ್ they wanted a republic government, they wanted democratic government. The government should be consent by concept of government by consent. Okay, next point is the end of autocracy which means auto start bike ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು ಆಟೋ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಟೋದ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ here also the end of autocracy which means autocratic absolute monarchy. The king autocracy, he did not take care about the people. Without the permission of people, he could do anything, he could make anything. This autocracy, it was ended. Next point is clerical privileges. There was a privileged society. There are two societies which could be seen in the French, the privileged society, unprivileged society. The privileged society was consisted of clergies and richer person, kings, and unprivileged society, common people. But all the privileges only for two sections of the society. Okay, this end of clerical privilege, the end of autocracy and the end of clerical privilege. Next point is the concept of government and the concept. Make a point, a constitution which means constitution is a set of basic rules followed by country. The constitution and representative government it should be represented by the people through parliament. 19th century liberals also stressed the inviolability of private property. According to liberalist, what did they tell? The inviolability of private property. Anybody should not touch private property. The private property is sacred. The private property, it was come by birth. It should not be touched any person, either king or clergies. Okay, na? The inviolability of private property. These are all the what did liberal nationalism stand for? The liberal nationalism, it stands for three perspective: middle class, politically and economically. Economically, we shall discuss in the next para. The first we have discussed. The first one is according to new middle class, freedom for individual, equality of all before law. It politically, the concept of government by consent, the end of autocracy, the end of clerical privileges, and next a constitution and representative government through parliament. And next one is according to liberalist, the inviolability of private property. Okay, next, yet equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage. Here we should not understand the constitution that had given equality before law, but they did not stand for universal suffrage which means the right to vote. Everybody, though, were not having the right to vote. In the French society, after the constitution which was made by all the sections of society, it took 1789 to 1791, it was completed constitution of 1791 French constitution. 1791 constitution, new constitution which was prepared by National Assembly, representatives of National Assembly. There, the first one is the members of National Assembly and our ಕೆಳಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತವರು electors, our ಕೆಳಗೆ active citizens, ಕೆಳಗೆ passive citizens. Those who had got voting powers. Let us discuss. You will recall that in French Revolutionary France, after the 1789, it was called as Revolutionary France, which marked the first political experiment in liberal democracy. This is the first mark of political experiment of liberal democracy. The right to vote and right to get elected was granted. Point number 1, those who have got right to vote. The right to vote and right to get elected was granted exclusively property owning men. Okay, all of them who have not got voting power. Those who have got voting power only for the right to vote and right to get elected. ಅಂದರೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲೋದು, ಏನು ಎಮ್ ಎಲ್ ಎಗಳು ನಿಲ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ. ಯಾರು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಓನಿಂಗ್ ಮೆನ್, ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಓನ್ಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ, those who have not, those who had owned the property, those who had not owned the property, he was not having the any right to vote and to get elected. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅವರು ಮಾತ್ರ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ವೋಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ, he was not writing to, he had not right to vote, he had not get elected. Okay, and next ಮತ್ತೆ men without property. Next point is men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Okay na, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ voting power ಇತ್ತು? The first one is voting power and next get to elected. These two power which was given to property owning men, property owning men only, not women. And next, not voting power, and next not get to elected. Those who, one is those who had not property owning men, they were called as men without property, men without property. Next one is all women. These two members were excluded from voting power and get to elected power. Okay, exclusively to property owning men without property, and all women were excluded from political rights. Only for a brief period under the Jacobin did all adult males enjoy suffrage. After the French Revolution, there were two, Jacobins and Girondists. There are two parties who came into existence. Girondists, Jacobins, one of the revolutionary party who gave enjoy suffrage, voting power to all the males, all the youths. And next, however, the Napoleon Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of minor. Napoleon Code in 1804, we have discussed in the earlier. Napoleon, he implemented 5 types of code. One among them, Napoleon Civil Code 1804. It was provided. The first one is he reduced suffrage women to the status of a minor. He always restricted women. He could not able to read physics. He could not able to learn music. ಅಂದರೆ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯುವಂತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶಿ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಮೆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪೆಟ್ರಾರ್ಕಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೀಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಪೆಟ್ರಾರ್ಕಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೀಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಹೆಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೇಲ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. ದ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಹೆಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೇಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಫಾದರ್. The Napoleon Code, which was more importance which was given to patriarchal families. That's why the Napoleon Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of a minor, subject to the authority of fathers and husbands. ಆ ಒಂದು ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯಾರ ಕೈ ಕೆಳಗಿಟ್ರು? She was called as minor. Women was called as minor. She was controlled by She was subjected by authority of fathers and husband. Okay, through the 19th and early 20th century, women and non-propertied men organized abortion movement demanding equal political rights. Throughout the 19th century, from 1800 to 1900, the women who have got the political rights, she did not get till 1946. In the 1946, in French, women who have got the political rights. Okay, the throughout the 19th century and early 20th centuries, women and non-propertied men organized opposition movements demanding equal political rights. Why? Why? There are reasons. Just you would recall. The first one is the right to vote and right to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Second point is men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Second point. And third one is the Napoleon Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of minors subject to the authority of father and husbands. These are all the reasons all the women and non-propertied men who organized the opposition movement demanding equal political rights. This is the common reason. Those who have deprived from political rights, voting rights, always they protest against the government. There is a unity among themselves. They also wanted rights and get elected. Therefore, all the women, why did the women and the non-propertied men organize opposition movement demanding against the government? Because there are several reasons. The point number one, the right to vote and to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Second point is men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Next point is the Napoleon Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of minor and subjected to the authority of fathers and husbands. These are the three reasons. There are several reasons. They have mentioned only for three reasons. These are the three reasons to become the reason for to protest against of the French government by the women and non-propertied men. Okay. Next, let us discuss about the what is the liberalism in the perspective of economic sphere. The economic sphere. In the economic sphere, economic ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, what was the liberalism? What is the liberalism? The point number one, liberalism stood for the freedom of markets. The freedom of market. The freedom of markets. The freedom of markets. The abolition of state imposed restrictions on the movement. The abolition of state imposed restriction on the movement of goods. Restriction on the movement of goods. Goods and capital. Make a point. In the economic sphere, the French revolutionaries, they were seeing in the economic sphere, liberalism stood for the freedom of markets. The markets were restricted by many rules and regulations. These rules and regulations hindered the development of economic development. Therefore, they wanted to the freedom of markets from the rules and regulations, unnecessary rules and regulations. This is also not the liberalism. Not only individual, the liberalism did not stand for only for individual rights. It also stood for economic sphere, the freedom of markets, Second one is the abolition of state imposed restrictions on the movements of goods and capital. The abolition of state imposed, every state in German there are 39 states which was made by Napoleon 39 state madidda. Every state had different type of taxes. This got hindrance of the development of economic. They wanted liberal, they wanted freedom from this imposed the movement of goods and capital. Also the abolition of state imposed restrictions on the movement of goods and capital. Abolish ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ. This is also one of the liberalism. Okay. They have given the one example to easy understand. They have given the example to understand very easily. Okay. Let us recap once again. What did 5 marks question? What did liberal nationalism stand for? The first one is, let us complete this. The first one is freedom for individual according to new middle class, equality of before law, the concept of government by consent, the end of autocracy, the end of clerical privileges, and next a constitution and represent government through parliament. In the economic sphere, they could see the freedom of markets, the abolition of state imposed restrictions on the movements of goods and capital. These are the main factors. What did liberalism national stand for? Okay, let us continue. During the 19th century, 1800 to 1900, sorry. During the 19th century, 1900 to 2000, it was called as 19th century. This was a strong demand of the emerging middle class. Let us take example. There was a strong demand, which was demanded by middle class, the freedom of markets, the abolition of state imposed restrictions on the movements of goods and capital. Why? Because this economic sphere, this market, this business was done by middle class people, those who are included businessmen. Let us take the example of German speaking regions in the first half of the 19th century. Which means 1800 to 830, Napoleon's administrative first half of 19th century. Sorry, ಆಗಲೇ ನಾನು 19th century ತಪ್ಪು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. First half of 19th century, which means 1800 to 1830, Napoleon administrative measures had created out of countless small principalities a confederation of 39 states. When Napoleon conquered against the German states ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, he developed the sense of common nationalism among the Europeans. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ, he made the unification of reign. There was a 360 states to prior the attack of Napoleon attack ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ 360 states ಇತ್ತು. He converted 360 into 39 countless small principalities, a confederation of 39 states. Each of these possessed its own currency. Everyone, 39 states, the 39 states had possessed own currency. different states. Here is, this is the German, just you think about it. Total 39 states, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This had one type of currency, rupee. This had yen, this is euro, this is sterling, this is franc, this is next another one type of yadon currency. Everyone its own currency and weights. There was a different type of weights and measures. A merchant traveling in 1833 from Habsburg to Nuremberg to sell his goods would have had to pass through 11 customs. ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟು ಹ್ಯಾಮ್ಸ್ಬರ್ಗಿಂದ ನ್ಯೂರೆಂಬರ್ಗ್ಗೆ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಗೂಡ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ 11 customs barriers. 11 customs barriers, which means he had to pay 11 types of tax. Each of them they had possessed different type of tax and pay custom duty of about 5% of each one of them. Here, just example, this is a city from Nuremberg. Nuremberg, 1 meat 100 rupees. 1 meat 100 rupees. Next, Habsburg, 1 meat 200 rupees tax they had to pay. 11 custom barriers and pay custom duty of about 5% of at each one of them. Everyone they had to pay 5% tax. Okay, and next, duties were often levied according to the weight. Okay, they had to pay different type of tax all over the German state. This is one of the hindrances of businessmen. And next, these duties were often levied according to the weight and measurement. Again and again, they had to often measure. This consumed the time. Levied according to the weight and measurement of the goods, as each region its own system and weights and measures. This involved time consuming calculation. Here is the city A. This had one type of measurement, one type of customs, one type of tax system, one type of currency system. This ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, levied according to the weight and measurement of goods. Each region has its own system of weights and measures. This involved the time consuming calculation. Consuming calculation. The measure of cloth, for example, was one the LA which in each region stood for a different length. They have given the one example. LA, which means equals meter. Alli LA anta karitaru. Each region stood for a different length. An LA textile material bought in Frankfurt would get you 54 centimeter of cloth. In India, there is a single measurement, we have a common currency that is called rupee. But there is in German, 1 LA Frankfurt would get you 54.4 centimeter of cloth. Next, Frankfurt would get you 54.7 centimeter. But when we move to the mains ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ, 55.1 centimeter. Next, in Nuremberg it would be 65.6 centimeter. And next, in Freiburg ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, 53.5 centimeter. There is a different type of measurement. And one LA equals in Frankfurt 54.7, 1 LA equals in Mainz 51.1 centimeter, in Nuremberg 65.6 centimeter, in Freiburg 53.5 centimeter. There are different diverse of measurement. It was the problems, it was the hindrance of development of growth of economy. That's why they wanted the abolition of state imposed rest on the movement of goods and capital. They wanted single. They wanted ಒಂದೇ ಥರದ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಮೂವ್. One example we have seen, such conditions were viewed as obstacle to economic exchange and growth by new commercial class. Which condition? The different type of measurement. And next to which of the states had possessed own currency, weights, measures. This condition were viewed as obstacles to economic exchange and growth by new middle class. This problem, which was led by the new commercial class, those who are called as new middle class, who argued for the creation of unified economic territory, allowing the unhindered movements of goods, people and capital. In 1834, a custom union or Zollverein was formed at the initiative of Prussia and joined by most of German states. They had to change all these hindrances. ಅವರು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ದೇ ಮೇಕ್? ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ದಿಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟಿ ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದು ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದಿಸ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಯೂನಿಟಿ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಜೋಲ್ವರಿನ್. ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್? ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಜೋಲ್ವರಿನ್. What was Zollverein? Zollverein was the custom union. It was formed in German initiative by Prussia. There was no German. Always it was broken by other European continents. Some part it was ruled by Habsburg dynasty. Some part was ruled by France. But one and only country, Prussia, always wanted to ಬಿಕಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅದು ಏನು, ರಷ್ಯಾ ಒಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಬೈ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಜರ್ಮನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್, ದ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅಬಾಲಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾರಿಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎವ್ರಿ 30 to 2. ದಿಸ್ Zollverein, ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ದೆ ಮೇಕ್? ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ Zollverein? ಒನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ದ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅಬಾಲಿಷ್ ಟ್ಯಾರಿಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾರೀಸ್. Abolition of tariff. This union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currency. Reduced the number of currency. Okay. Second point is, there are different type of currencies. Each states that had possessed different type of currencies. But Zollverein, what did they make? They reduced the number of currencies from every 30 to 2. ಎಷ್ಟರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು? 32. 32 ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂತು? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದೇ ವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್ 2 ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ Zollverein. Decision was led by Zollverein. Okay. Next, reduces the number of 30 to 2. The creation of network of railways further stimulated mobility. When in the German speaking words the railway started, the people, they were going from one place to another place. This mobility means movement of from one place to another place. This harnessing economic interest to national unification. When Zollverein was solved this problem, this harnessing economic interest to national unification, a wave of economic nationalism strengthened the wider national sentiments growing at that time. This economic nationalism strengthened the wide of nationalism sentiments growing at that time. Okay. How was nationalism? What were the factors which reason for the growth of nationalism in the German country? The point number one, a custom union of Jalrin. The second, the union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. Third, the creation of network of railways further stimulated mobility. Next, the harnessing economic interest to national unification. Fourth one is a wave of economic nationalism strengthened the wider national sentiment. When the people ಯಾವಾಗ ಜನ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೋ, they share their ideas. They would share their ideas, they would share their culture, they would share their language. Also they together ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲಿಸಮ್ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ವರ್ ದ factors which led to the development of nationalism in German countries? The union way, the custom union of Jalrin, it made ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದು. The first one is union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. And next one is the creation of network of railway. Second point, the creation of network of railway. And next, harnessing economic interest to national unification. And next one is wave of economic nationalism. These are all the reasons to create sense of nationalism among the German countries. Okay, what we have discussed in this class, today class we have discussed for 2.2 what did liberalism national stand for. What did liberal nationalism stand for? There were several points we have discussed. And next, why did people protest against the government throughout the 19th century? There are several reasons. Next concept is what did liberal nationalism stand for? Politically, individual, middle class, according to economy. And next, then we have discussed one example for the the restrictions were imposed on the market. And next we have discussed what were the factors which led to the development of nationalism among the German countries. Okay, thank you.